You ever notice how people treat you exactly how you allow them to? They will undervalue you, use you like a convenience store, and walk away without even saying thank you, unless you do this one thing. Today, I will tell you why people devalue you, and how to flip the game in your favor. Because let me tell you, respect is not demanded, it is commanded. And if you don't understand this, you will spend your whole life begging for what should be naturally yours. Let's get into it. First, understand this. The world does not give you what you deserve. It gives you what you demand. People will take advantage of you, disrespect you, and ignore your worth because you tolerate it. It is not because they are bad people. It is because you haven't drawn the line. Let me give you a harsh truth. People respect boundaries, not begging. They don't respect someone who pleads for value. They respect someone who carries value effortlessly. So how do you make them respect you? You do this. Change the way you present yourself to the world. People who constantly explain themselves are unknowingly giving away their power. They are telling the world, I need you to approve of me. But here's the truth. The moment you stop over-explaining, people start listening differently. They start seeing you as someone who knows their worth. Someone who doesn't seek validation at every step. Think about the most powerful people you know. Do they spend their time justifying their every move? No. They act, they decide, they move forward. Because when you know your truth, you don't need to explain it. Only those who doubt themselves feel the need to constantly prove why they do what they do. But understand this, people do not respect words, they respect energy. And when your energy screams confidence, no explanation is needed. Imagine this. You decide to take a different path in life. Maybe you quit your job, break up with someone, or simply start setting stronger boundaries. Instantly, the questions come. Why would you do that? Are you sure? That doesn't make sense. And what do most people do? They start explaining, they try to justify their choices, desperately hoping to be understood. But the more you explain, the less they believe you. That's the irony. Have you ever told someone, I'm happy being single, and then found yourself explaining why? The moment you start explaining, they doubt you. If you were truly happy, you wouldn't have to explain it, they think. Because confident people don't over-explain. They live in their truth and the world adjusts to it. Look around you. The most mysterious, respected and intriguing people aren't the ones who argue about their decisions. They are the ones who simply say, this is what I'm doing and move on. When you over-explain, you are handing people the power to question you. You are indirectly telling them that their opinion matters more than your decision. And guess what? Once people know they can make you explain yourself, they will keep doing it. They will question you. They will make you doubt yourself, and they will keep pulling you back into their way of thinking. Have you ever seen a lion explain why it hunts? Have you ever seen an eagle justify why it flies alone? No, they just do. And that's why they remain at the top. Humans are no different. The more you explain yourself, the more you shrink your presence. People don't respect explanations, they respect conviction. Take a simple example from daily life. You decide to leave a toxic friendship. You don't feel good around that person anymore. But when they ask why, you start explaining. I feel like we've grown apart. I feel like you don't value me. And before you know it, they are debating your own emotions. No, that's not true. I've always valued you. And suddenly you are on the defensive, trying to prove why you feel the way you feel. But what if you simply said, this isn't working for me anymore, and left it at that? What if you refused to explain? What if you carried yourself in a way that made people accept your decisions without question? That is power. Or imagine you are building a business and people ask, why would you take such a big risk? If you start explaining all the details, all the reasons, they will pick your reasoning apart. But the market is bad. But what if you fail? But what if it doesn't work? Now you are defending your dreams instead of chasing them. But if you simply say, because I believe in it, what is there to argue? A short, confident answer leaves no room for doubt. It sends a message. I do not need your approval. And here's the most powerful truth. When you stop explaining, people start believing. If you don't question yourself, neither will they. The less you explain, the more respect you command. Because silence forces people to accept your decision. It forces them to deal with the fact that you are not seeking their validation. And that is a level of confidence most people are not used to. Picture this. Two people walk into a room. One is constantly justifying everything. I did this because, I chose this because. They are nervous, seeking approval. The other person walks in, makes decisions, and moves on without explaining themselves. Who do you think people will take more seriously? The second person, always. Because they project certainty. And certainty is magnetic. It's the same in relationships. The moment you stop explaining your standards, people start respecting them. Instead of saying, I don't like it when you do this because it makes me feel, you simply say, I don't accept that behavior. End of discussion. Instead of explaining why you're not texting back instantly, you simply stop being available 24/7. Let your actions speak. The moment you stop explaining, you start living. You stop being controlled by the need to be understood. Not everyone deserves an explanation. Not everyone needs to know your reasons. The only person who needs to understand your decisions is you. Most people struggle to say no because they have been trained to believe that saying yes makes them a good person. From childhood, you were taught to be polite, to accommodate others, to not disappoint people. But what no one told you is that saying yes to everything is the fastest way to lose yourself. You cannot be everything to everyone and still be something to yourself. Think about the last time you agreed to something you didn't want to do. Maybe a friend asked for a favor. Maybe a coworker dumped their work on you. Maybe a family member made an unreasonable demand. And even though you were exhausted, even though you had other plans, even though you didn't want to do it, you still said, okay. But why? Because deep inside you were afraid. Afraid of disappointing them. Afraid of looking selfish. Afraid of being judged. But let me tell you something. Your fear of saying no is what's making people walk all over you. The moment people realize you are uncomfortable saying no, they start using it against you. They start asking for more, pushing your limits, making you their backup plan, their emotional garbage can, their free labor. And you start drowning. You say yes so much that you forget you have the right to say no. But here's the thing. You are not on this earth to be liked by everyone. You are not alive just to serve others while neglecting yourself. And the most powerful people in this world are the ones who say no, without guilt, without hesitation, without explaining themselves, because they understand one thing. Every time you say yes to something you don't want, you're saying no to yourself. Think about it. When you say yes to working late because your boss demands it, you say no to your family, to your rest, to your own life. When you say yes to a toxic friendship, you say no to your peace. When you say yes to a relationship that drains you, you say no to the love you truly deserve. Every choice has a price. The question is, who is paying it? You or them? Let's take a simple example. Imagine you're at a party and someone offers you a drink. You don't feel like drinking, but instead of simply saying no thanks, you start explaining, oh, I have work tomorrow, I have a headache, I'm trying to cut down. The moment you start explaining, they start convincing. Oh, just one won't hurt. Come on, don't be boring. Live a little. And before you know it, you're holding a drink you didn't even want. But what if you simply said no? No excuses, no explanations, just one word. The conversation would end there. Because a confident no doesn't invite negotiation. Look at the people who are respected. They are not the ones who always say yes. They are the ones who have strong boundaries. They are the ones who say no without blinking, without apologizing, without guilt. And because of that, people value their time, their presence, their energy. Now let's flip the script. Imagine someone asks you for a favor. Maybe they want to borrow money. Maybe they want you to do something that benefits them but hurts you. You feel that guilt rising, that hesitation. But instead of caving in, you take a deep breath and say no. No explanations, no softening it, just no. Watch what happens. First, they'll be shocked because they are used to you saying yes. Then they'll try to guilt you. Oh, come on, it's just this once. You always help me, but you hold your ground. They will push. You will test you. But the moment they realize you mean it, something incredible happens. They start respecting you. Because here's the truth. People may not like your no, but they will respect it. And the moment you stop feeling guilty for protecting your time, your energy, your life, you take your power back. Most people fear saying no because they don't want to lose relationships. But let me tell you something. If someone's love for you depends on how much you sacrifice for them, it's not love, it's control. The people who truly care for you will respect your boundaries. They will understand that your no is not a rejection of them, it is an acceptance of yourself. But the ones who get angry, who manipulate you, who make you feel bad for standing up for yourself, those are the ones who never deserved your yes in the first place. Saying no is not selfish. It is necessary. It is what separates people who live on their own terms from those who live under the control of others. It is what defines the strong from the weak. The ones who hesitate, who over-explain, who say yes just to keep the peace, they are exhausted, they are frustrated, they are lost. But the ones who say no with confidence, they are free. Most people don't get what they truly deserve in life because they accept less. They settle for whatever is given to them. They allow people to treat them however they want. They tolerate relationships that drain them, jobs that exhaust them, and friendships that add no value. And why? Because they don't believe they deserve better. They think this is just how life is. But life isn't what happens to you. Life is what you allow. You don't get what you wish for. You get what you tolerate. If you tolerate disrespect, you will get more of it. If you tolerate inconsistency, you will always be waiting for something real. If you tolerate fake apologies, you will never get true change. You set the price for how people treat you. And the moment you decide to raise that price, everything changes. Look around you. The most powerful people in the world are not the ones who beg to be treated well. They are the ones who expect it. They do not explain why they deserve respect. They demand it with their presence. They do not chase people who mistreat them. They walk away without looking back. And that is why they are admired, respected, and desired. Think about your own life. How many times have you lowered your standards just to fit in? How many times have you accepted half love, half effort, half respect? How many times have you allowed someone to make excuses instead of giving you what you truly deserve? The truth is, every time you accept less, you teach people that they can give you less, and once they learn that lesson, they will never give you more. Imagine a queen sitting on her throne. Does she beg people to treat her like royalty? No. She simply is a queen. And because she carries herself as one, people have no choice but to treat her accordingly. Now ask yourself, do you carry yourself as someone who deserves the best? Or do you shrink yourself, hoping that if you accept less, people will eventually give you more? You don't get respect by asking for it. You get respect by refusing to accept anything less. And that starts with raising your standards and sticking to them. Let's take a simple example. You text someone and they take hours, maybe even days to respond. And when they finally do, they don't even apologize. Instead of raising your standards, you tell yourself, maybe they're just busy. Maybe I'm expecting too much. No, the truth is, if they respected you, they would make time. If they valued you, they would not leave you questioning your worth. The problem is not them. It's that you allow it. The moment you start saying, I do not entertain inconsistency. If you can't respect my time, I don't give you mine. Everything shifts. Or imagine you're in a relationship where your partner keeps disappointing you. They say they'll change, but they never do. They break promises, but you keep forgiving. Why? Because you think love means patience. But love without standards is just self-betrayal. The more you tolerate their excuses, the less they respect you. But the day you say, this is not enough for me, either step up or step out. You take back your power. Some of you have friends who only come to you when they need something. They never check on you. They never support you. But every time they call, you pick up. Every time they need help, you are there. And then you wonder why you feel drained. Because you're pouring into people who let you go empty. Raise your standards. If someone does not match your energy, do not force them into your life. Even in your career, your standards determine your success. If you settle for a job that underpays you, you will never be paid what you are worth. If you settle for being unappreciated, you will never be valued. If you keep saying yes to every demand, people will keep using you. But the moment you say, I know my worth, if you can't meet my standards, I will take my skills elsewhere, You change the game. People who raise their standards are often called difficult. They are called arrogant. But in reality, they are simply people who refuse to live a life of mediocrity. The world belongs to those who have the courage to say, I will not settle. And here's the secret. When you raise your standards, some people will leave. The ones who benefited from your low standards will disappear. And that is a blessing. Because what remains? Only the people who truly respect you. Only the relationships that actually add value. Only the opportunities that truly align with your worth. The question is not whether people will meet your standards. The question is whether you have the strength to keep them high, even when it means walking alone for a while. Because the moment you lower them for someone, you tell the universe, I don't really need what I asked for. And the universe will listen. But when you stand firm, when you say, I will not accept anything less than I deserve, everything you truly want begins to find its way to you. Most people spend their whole lives chasing people, chasing approval, chasing love, chasing respect. They run after things, hoping that if they run fast enough, long enough, hard enough, they will finally be valued. But the hard truth is this: what you chase will always run away from you. Think about it. The moment you show desperation, the moment you make it clear that you are willing to do anything just to be accepted, valued, or loved, people begin to lose interest. Because in life, people don't chase what is easily available. They chase what is rare. They chase what is valuable. They chase what they can't have easily. Look at the most desirable things in the world, the most expensive cars, the rarest diamonds, the most powerful people. Do they beg for attention? Do they run after anyone? No. They exist in their greatness, and the world comes to them. Because value does not chase, it attracts. Now look at your own life. How many times have you lowered your worth just to make someone stay? How many times have you tried to prove your value to someone who didn't see it? How many times have you chased a friendship, a relationship, an opportunity that kept running away from you? The truth is, the more you run after something, the faster it escapes. Because neediness repels. But confidence attracts. A woman who knows her worth does not chase a man. She does not beg for attention. She does not prove herself. She does not try to convince someone to choose her. She simply exists in her power. And because of that, men are drawn to her, fascinated by her, captivated by her presence. She is the prize and she knows it. A man who respects himself does not chase love. He does not beg for a woman's approval. He does not change himself to fit into someone else's expectations. Instead, he builds himself, focuses on his purpose, becomes a man of substance, and because of that, the right woman notices him, desires him, values him. The moment you stop chasing, you shift the power. Suddenly, you are not the one waiting for calls, waiting for texts, waiting for validation. Suddenly, you are the one being pursued. Because nothing is more attractive than someone who is unshakable in their worth. Think about the last time you wanted something so badly that you obsessed over it. Maybe it was a person, a job, an opportunity. You were so focused on getting it that you didn't even realize how much power you were giving away. And what happened? The more you pushed, the more it pulled away. Because when you chase something, you put it on a pedestal. And the moment you do that, you place yourself beneath it. But imagine if, instead of chasing, you became the one they couldn't ignore. Imagine if instead of running after love, you became so fulfilled within yourself that love naturally gravitated toward you. Imagine if instead of seeking validation, you became so sure of your worth that people had no choice but to respect you. Success does not chase. It is attracted. Money does not chase. It is earned through value. Love does not chase. It flourishes in confidence. The moment you stop chasing is the moment everything starts coming to you. Look at the most powerful figures in history. Did they run after people, begging to be noticed? No. They built themselves. They stood in their power. And because of that, the world took notice. If you want to be valued, stop asking for it and start embodying it. If a job does not see your worth, stop proving yourself and start improving yourself. Make them regret losing you. If a person is unsure about you, stop convincing them and start focusing on yourself. Let them feel what life is like without you. If a friend only values you when they need something, stop chasing them and start setting boundaries. Let them see that you are not always available. The moment you stop chasing, you create space. Space for the right people to come to you. Space for the right opportunities to align. Space for your energy to rise, your value to be recognized, your presence to be felt. Because when you walk away from what is not meant for you, you walk toward what is. The world does not respect the desperate. The world respects the disciplined. The ones who are not afraid to be alone. The ones who do not settle. The ones who know deep in their soul that they are worth more than half love, half effort, and half respect. So stop running, stop chasing, stop proving. Stand tall, raise your standards, and let the world come to you. Because the moment you do, you will realize you were never meant to run after anything, only to rise and be seen. Silence is not weakness. Silence is power. The most powerful people in the world do not waste their breath on meaningless arguments, desperate explanations, or unnecessary words. They know that real power is not in speaking, it is in observing, in understanding, in knowing when to speak and when to stay silent. Most people talk too much. They talk to fill the silence because they fear it. They explain themselves, justify themselves, defend themselves, hoping that if they say enough, people will finally understand them, respect them, or accept them. But the truth is, the more you talk, the more you reveal. The more you reveal, the more people can use your words against you. A wise person listens more than they speak. They watch more than they react. They absorb, they process, they calculate. And when they finally do speak, their words carry weight, because their silence has already spoken volumes. Think about the last time you were in an argument. What happened? You probably felt the urge to defend yourself, to prove your point, to make sure the other person saw things your way. And what did it lead to? More words, more conflict, more wasted energy. But imagine if, instead of reacting, you stayed silent. Imagine if, instead of explaining, you just let them talk. Let them reveal their true colors. Let them expose themselves, because the moment you stop reacting, you shift the power. Silence makes people uncomfortable. It forces them to reflect, to question, to wonder what you are thinking. It makes them realize that you are not easily manipulated, not easily provoked. When you stay silent in the face of nonsense, in the face of disrespect, in the face of someone trying to get a reaction out of you, you show them that their words have no control over you. That is power. In relationships, silence is a game changer. If someone disrespects you, do not argue, do not beg, do not explain your worth. Pull away, become silent. Let them feel your absence. Let them wonder why you are no longer engaging. Because when you argue, when you over-explain, when you chase, you are telling them that they have the power to affect you. But when you stay silent, when you distance yourself, when you show them that their words do not move you, they are forced to reevaluate their actions. They are forced to question what they have lost. Silence is also the key to understanding people. The more you talk, the less you listen. The less you listen, the less you learn. But when you are silent, when you truly observe, you start to see things that others miss. You notice the small changes in body language. You hear what is not being said. You start to recognize the difference between empty words and real intentions. In business, the most successful people do not reveal their every move. They do not tell the world what they are about to do. They move in silence, they build in silence, they grow in silence. And by the time the world sees what they have created, it is already too late to stop them. If you want to be powerful, stop announcing your plans. Stop telling everyone your next move. Let your success speak for itself. Even in personal growth, silence is a weapon. When you sit in silence, you hear the things you have been avoiding. You hear your own fears, your own doubts, your own truth. Most people drown themselves in noise because they are afraid of what silence will reveal. They surround themselves with distractions, with constant talking, with meaningless conversations, just to avoid facing themselves. But when you embrace silence, you learn who you truly are. You develop the strength to sit with your own thoughts, to understand your own emotions, to master your own mind. There is a reason why the wisest people in history spent time in solitude, why the greatest minds of the world understood the value of stillness. Because silence is where clarity is found. Silence is where strength is built. Silence is where power is cultivated. When someone insults you, stay silent. Let them drown in their own negativity. When someone doubts you, stay silent. Let your actions prove them wrong. When someone underestimates you, stay silent. Let your success make the noise. The more you control your tongue, the more you control your life. Most people react out of impulse. They speak without thinking. They let emotions control their words, and that is why they lose power. But those who master silence, they control the room without saying a word. They influence people without forcing anything. They command respect without demanding it. So the next time you feel the urge to explain yourself, to prove your worth, to react out of anger or frustration, pause. Stay silent. Let the world feel your energy instead. Because silence is not the absence of words. It is the presence of strength. People are drawn to mystery. The moment they think they have figured you out, they lose interest. The moment you become predictable, you become replaceable. But when you keep an element of mystery, when you remain unpredictable, you become unforgettable. Look around you. The ones who command attention, the ones who leave people intrigued, the ones who are respected and desired, they never reveal everything at once. They never put their entire soul on display for the world to dissect. They give just enough to keep people wanting more. They are like a book with missing pages. People are compelled to keep reading, to keep searching, to try and understand the depth they cannot immediately see. Most people make the mistake of being an open book. They think that by explaining themselves, by revealing everything, by constantly seeking validation, they will be understood, accepted, loved. But the truth is, the more people know about you, the less they value you. When you reveal too much, when you make yourself too available, when you always say yes, when you always explain yourself, when you let people predict your every move, you lose your power. Because power is in uncertainty. Power is in making people wonder about you. Power is in not being fully known. Think about the most captivating characters in movies, in history, in real life. They have an aura of mystery. They do not reveal everything they are thinking. They do not explain every emotion they feel. They do not react the way people expect them to. And that is what makes them magnetic. A mysterious person is someone who is hard to label, hard to predict, hard to read. And that makes people obsessed because humans are wired to seek what they do not understand. If you are always available, always predictable, always following the same patterns, people take you for granted. But the moment you introduce uncertainty, the moment you break patterns, the moment you leave them guessing, you become the person they cannot stop thinking about. Imagine you text someone every morning, always available, always predictable. At first they appreciate it, but soon they start expecting it. And once something is expected, it is no longer exciting. Now imagine you break that pattern. One day you respond, the next day you don't. One day you engage deeply, the next you are distant. Suddenly they start wondering about you. Where did you go? What are you thinking? Why are you different? That curiosity, that uncertainty, that unpredictability, that is power. This applies not just in relationships, but in life. In business, the ones who succeed are not the ones who follow the same path as everyone else. They are the ones who do things differently, who keep people guessing, who make unexpected moves that no one sees coming. If people can predict your next step, they can control you. But if you keep them uncertain, you remain in control. The key to being mysterious is restraint. You do not need to reveal every thought, every emotion, every detail of your life. Learn to enjoy things without announcing them. Move in silence. Build without validation. Let people wonder what you are up to. Let them make assumptions. Let them be curious, because curiosity leads to attraction and attraction leads to power. Most people ruin their own mystery by oversharing. They post every move on social media. They explain their emotions to everyone. They tell people their dreams before they even start working on them. And then they wonder why no one is fascinated by them, why no one takes them seriously, why they are not respected, not desired, not valued. The answer is simple: because there is nothing left to wonder about. A person who shares everything removes the excitement of discovering them. But a person who is reserved, selective, unpredictable, they are a mystery worth exploring. Being mysterious is not about being secretive. It is about being selective. Selective with your time, selective with your words, selective with who gets to know the real you. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone should know your next move. Not everyone should be allowed to predict you. The moment people think they know everything about you, they stop paying attention. But the moment they feel like there is something more to you, something they cannot fully grasp, something that keeps them guessing, that is when they become hooked. So next time you feel the urge to explain yourself, to prove yourself, to overshare, pause. Hold back. Let people wonder. Because mystery is not about what you reveal, it is about what you don't. Too many people waste their lives chasing approval, bending over backward to make others happy, sacrificing their own dreams just to fit in. They say yes when they want to say no. They smile when they want to walk away. They live for others while slowly dying inside. And for what? To be liked? To avoid judgment? To feel accepted? But here's the hard truth. No matter how much you do for people, it will never be enough. You spend years trying to impress them, yet the moment you stop, they forget everything. You pour your energy into keeping them happy, yet they will replace you the second you are no longer convenient. You change yourself to fit their expectations, yet they will still find a reason to criticize. So, why live your life for them? Why give up your own growth just to please people who will never be satisfied? Imagine this. You have a garden. Every day you take care of it, planting new seeds, watering the soil, ensuring that everything grows strong. Now, imagine that instead of tending to your garden, you start running around, watering other people's gardens, pulling out their weeds, fixing their fences. You give and give, thinking they will appreciate you. But what happens? Your own garden begins to die. The plants you once nurtured wither away. The flowers stop blooming. And when you turn around to ask for help, you realize no one is coming to save your garden. This is what happens when you spend your life trying to please others instead of investing in your own growth. You exhaust yourself making sure everyone else is comfortable while your own potential is left to rot. You fill their cup, but yours remains empty. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who live to make everyone happy. They are the ones who set boundaries. They are the ones who say no. They are the ones who put their growth above the opinions of others. Because here's the thing. When you grow, you naturally outgrow people. When you start investing in yourself, when you choose to focus on becoming better, when you prioritize your own goals, some people will feel threatened. They will try to guilt you, make you feel selfish, tell you that you are changing. And they are right. You are changing. You are evolving. You are becoming the person you were meant to be. And that scares people who are used to you being small. But what is the alternative? Stay stuck, hold yourself back just to make them comfortable, live an entire life at half your potential because someone might not like your growth? No, you were not born to be a people pleaser. You were born to be great. And greatness does not come from trying to be liked. It comes from discipline, effort, and sacrifice. It comes from saying no to distractions. It comes from cutting off toxic relationships. It comes from standing firm in your choices, even when people do not agree. Think about the people you admire. The ones who have achieved something remarkable. Do you think they spent their lives worrying about what others thought of them? Do you think they put their dreams on hold just to avoid disappointing people? No. They focused. They worked. They made hard decisions. And because of that, they built something meaningful. You must do the same. You must wake up every day and ask yourself, am I growing? Or am I just trying to be liked? Because every moment you spend trying to please someone who does not even care about your well-being is a moment stolen from your own success. Every time you say yes out of guilt, you are saying no to your own potential. Every time you let someone else dictate your choices, you are handing over the pen that writes your story. The world does not reward people who spend their lives trying to make everyone happy. It rewards those who invest in themselves, who take risks, who dare to prioritize their own growth over temporary validation. So stop apologizing for putting yourself first. Stop feeling guilty for saying no. Stop trying to fit into a box that was never meant to hold you. Your energy is precious, your time is valuable, and every second you waste trying to impress people who do not matter is a second stolen from your greatness. Invest in your mind. Read, learn, grow, invest in your body, take care of it, strengthen it. Invest in your skills, master something, become undeniable. Invest in your peace, cut off drama, remove negativity, protect your energy, because at the end of the day, when all is said and done, you will not be remembered for how many people you pleased. You will be remembered for who you became, what you built, and the impact you made. There comes a moment in life when silence is the loudest answer you can give. When your presence is no longer valued, when your kindness is taken for granted, when your loyalty is met with disrespect. Do not argue, do not explain, do not beg for understanding, just walk away. Without warning, without a second thought, without looking back. Too many people stay in situations that drain them. They hold on to toxic relationships, dead-end jobs, friendships that no longer feel like friendships, and connections that only exist because they are afraid to let go. They think if they explain themselves, if they plead, if they give people just one more chance, maybe things will change. But here's the truth. If they valued you, you wouldn't have to beg. If they respected you, you wouldn't have to explain. If they truly cared, you wouldn't be questioning your worth. The most powerful move you can make is to disappear when you realize you are no longer appreciated. No drama, no announcement, no long emotional message. Just walk away. Because the moment you do, you shift the power. The people who thought you would always be there, who thought they could treat you however they wanted and still have access to you, who never imagined a day without you, suddenly they feel the absence. And that absence will teach them what your presence never could. Think about the strongest people you know, the ones who command respect, the ones who do not tolerate nonsense. Do they stay where they are not valued? Do they chase people who do not reciprocate? Do they sit down and explain why they deserve better? No. They leave. Silently. Unapologetically, with their dignity intact. Because they understand one simple rule. When you remove your presence, you force people to feel your absence. Imagine you are in a room full of people who constantly ignore you. You speak and no one listens. You contribute and no one acknowledges you. You give but no one gives back. What do most people do? They try harder, they raise their voice, they repeat themselves, they seek validation. But what does a strong person do? They leave the room, no announcement, no explanation, just silence. And suddenly the people who ignored them start wondering where they went. Suddenly the absence is noticed. Suddenly the realization hits. They needed you more than you needed them. This is how you reclaim your power. By refusing to argue for your worth, by refusing to beg for attention, by refusing to participate in spaces that no longer serve you. Walking away without warning is not about being heartless. It is about recognizing when a situation no longer aligns with your growth. It is about refusing to be a background character in someone else's story when you should be the main character in your own. How many times have you stayed in a friendship that drained you, hoping they would change? How many times have you tolerated disrespect because you were afraid to walk away? How many times have you kept giving to someone who only took from you, hoping they would finally see your worth? And what happened? Nothing changed. Because people do not change when you explain. They do not change when you plead. They do not change when you give them unlimited chances. They change when they lose access to you. The hardest truth to accept is that not everyone deserves an explanation. Not everyone deserves closure. Not everyone deserves to know why you left. Some people deserve to wake up one day and realize you are gone. And they don't even know why. That confusion, that emptiness, that sudden realization, that is their lesson. That is the price of taking you for granted. So stop waiting for people to respect you. Stop waiting for them to change. Stop waiting for them to see your value. See it for yourself. And when the moment comes, walk away. Without hesitation, without guilt, without warning. When a queen walks into a room, she does not beg for attention. She does not shrink to make others comfortable. She does not wait for approval. She owns her presence. Not with arrogance, not with desperation, but with the quiet, unshakable confidence of someone who knows exactly who she is. Too many people move through life as if they are asking for permission to exist. They lower their voice, they hesitate to take up space, They apologize for having opinions. They walk as if they do not deserve to be seen. And do you know what happens when you do that? The world believes you. The world treats you the way you treat yourself. If you act like you are insignificant, people will treat you as such. If you hesitate, if you doubt, if you second guess your worth, the world will follow your lead. But when you own your presence, when you walk like you belong, when you carry yourself like a queen, everything changes. Think about a lioness in the wild. She does not need to roar to prove her strength. She does not need to chase approval. She moves with purpose, with elegance, with a silent but undeniable power. And because of that, everything around her respects her presence. Now think about yourself. How many times have you dimmed your own light to make others feel comfortable? How many times have you downplayed your achievements to avoid making people jealous? How many times have you kept quiet when you had something powerful to say, just because you were afraid of how others would react? A queen does not do that. A queen does not lower her standards to make weak people feel strong. A queen does not tolerate disrespect just to keep the peace. A queen does not wait for someone to tell her she is worthy. She knows she is. And that is exactly how you must carry yourself. When you walk into a room, own it. Not with arrogance, not with the need for validation, but with the simple, undeniable presence of someone who knows their worth. Stand tall. Speak with clarity. Look people in the eye. Do not rush your words as if you are afraid of taking up time. Do not walk as if you are trying to be invisible. Do not apologize for being strong, for being confident, for being exactly who you are. Because here is the truth. No one will give you the respect you do not demand. If you let people walk over you, they will. If you tolerate disrespect, it will continue. If you shrink yourself, people will assume you were never meant to be seen. The world does not give power to those who wait for it. It gives power to those who claim it. Look at the most powerful women in history. Did they sit quietly in the background, hoping someone would notice them? No. They stepped forward. They spoke when others were afraid. They walked like they had the right to be there, because they did. And so do you. Your presence is a message. Before you even open your mouth, before you say a single word, the way you carry yourself tells the world how to treat you. If you walk in fear, the world will sense it. If you walk in confidence, the world will feel it. So own your presence like a queen. Walk with certainty, move with purpose, speak with conviction, and most of all, never let anyone make you feel like you are too much. If your presence intimidates them, that is their problem, not yours. You were not made to fit into a small space. You were not made to be overlooked. You were not made to be ordinary. You were made to be seen, to be heard, to be respected. Own it. The moment you stop letting people's opinions control your emotions, you become untouchable. Imagine walking through life without being weighed down by what others think. Imagine making decisions without fear, speaking your mind without hesitation, and chasing your dreams without waiting for approval. That is real power. The power of emotional detachment. Most people live like puppets. Their strings pulled by every comment, every judgment, every whisper of criticism. One compliment makes them feel like a king. One insult makes them feel like nothing. They wake up happy until someone disapproves of their choices. They feel confident until someone raises an eyebrow at their decisions. They chase validation like it is oxygen, never realizing they are suffocating themselves in the process. But here's the truth. What people think of you is none of your business. People will always have opinions. No matter what you do, no matter how good you are, no matter how much you give, there will always be someone who disapproves, someone who doubts you, someone who criticizes you. And if you let their words define you, you will always be at their mercy. Think about a river. When a rock is thrown into it, the water doesn't stop flowing. It doesn't hold on to the rock. It moves around it, continues its path, unshaken. Be like that river. Let people throw their opinions, their judgments, their negativity, but keep moving. The strongest people in the world are not those who are loved by everyone. They are the ones who do not need to be loved by everyone. They do not seek approval. They create their own. They do not bend to opinions. They set their own standards. They do not attach their emotions to every passing judgment. They rise above it. Ask yourself this. How many times have you held yourself back because of what others might say? How many times have you swallowed your truth to avoid upsetting someone? How many times have you let their words sit in your mind, replaying like a broken record, making you doubt yourself? And for what? To please people who will still find something to criticize? To fit into a mold that was never meant for you? To gain approval from those who will never truly understand your worth? You are not here to live according to someone else's expectations. You are not here to be a puppet in someone else's play. You are here to be yourself, fully and unapologetically. The day you detach emotionally from people's opinions, you free yourself. You become immune to their negativity. You stop reacting to every little comment. You stop feeling the need to explain yourself. You stop seeking validation like a beggar looking for scraps. You become whole within yourself. Imagine walking into a room and not caring what anyone thinks. Imagine making a decision without second guessing whether people will approve. Imagine living your life on your own terms, with no fear of judgment, no need for permission. That is the kind of freedom that only emotional detachment can give you. Look at the greats, the legends, the ones who changed the world. Did they let opinions stop them? Did they shrink themselves to fit into society's tiny boxes? No. They walked their path, no matter who misunderstood them. And you must do the same. Stop feeding on the opinions of people who don't live your life. Stop letting their words dictate your happiness. Stop believing that you need to be liked by everyone to be worthy. You don't. Detach, move forward, and watch how powerful you become. There comes a moment in life when you realize that the only validation you will ever need is the one you give yourself. No amount of applause, no approval from the world, no acceptance from others will ever replace the power of knowing who you are and standing firm in it. The day you stop attaching your emotions to people's opinions is the day you become unstoppable. Look at the sky. The sun doesn't ask permission to shine. The ocean doesn't apologize for its depth. The mountains do not lower themselves to be more approachable. So why should you? Why should you shrink to fit into spaces that were never meant to hold you? Why should you mold yourself into someone else's expectations when you were created to break them? People will always talk, let them. People will always judge, let them. People will always misunderstand, criticize, doubt, and even mock you, let them. That is their burden, not yours. A lion does not lose sleep over the opinions of sheep. A king does not explain his kingdom to those who do not belong in it. And you do not need to justify your existence to anyone. Detach. Let go of the need to be liked. Let go of the need to please. Let go of the need to be understood by those who were never meant to understand you. You are not here to be understood. You are here to be great. Every second you spend worrying about what others think is a second stolen from your destiny. Every tear shed over someone's opinion is energy wasted on something meaningless. Every time you hold yourself back to avoid criticism, you deny yourself the chance to rise, evolve, and conquer. The most powerful people in this world are not those who have the most approval, but those who do not need it. They walk into a room and the room shifts, not because they seek attention, but because their presence demands it. They speak and the world listens. Not because they crave validation, but because their words carry weight. They live on their own terms, fearless, unapologetic, unshakable. That is who you must become. Unshakable. When they doubt you, keep building. When they insult you, keep rising. When they misunderstand you, let them. Because in the end, none of it matters. What matters is that you lived boldly, spoke your truth, and refused to let the opinions of others silence the fire within you. You have one life. One chance to be the person you were born to be. Do not waste it bending to the voices of those who have never walked your path, never carried your struggles, never seen the vision that was placed in your heart. You are the author of your own story. Do not let someone else's judgment hold the pen. Let them talk, let them judge, let them whisper. But while they do that, you keep moving forward. Keep building your empire. Keep walking in your truth. Keep becoming everything they said you could never be. Because in the end, it is not their words that define you. It is what you do despite them.